Number 8 Ohio State heads to number 10 Virginia Tech this Friday in what's going to be one heck of a duel. 5 ranked matchups in total. Each team is actually bringing 8 ranked wrestlers. Those rankings are by Intermat. Now, Ohio State is the better team in the rankings, but what do the actual matchups show? Let's stop stalling and start talking wrestling. What's going on, wrestling fans? My name is Josiah, and welcome to Fanco Wrestling, your source for college wrestling news and discussion. And Ohio State and Virginia Tech have met previously, not too many times, though. Their last meeting was actually back in 2019, when Virginia Tech got the better of Ohio State 21-15. It was an upset victory at the time. They've met many times since 2011, and even before that, Ohio State has the better in the series, but Virginia Tech has wins in the last 2 meetings. So what can you expect from this dual meet? Can you expect something similar, or are you going to expect an upset again from Virginia Tech? I think it's very possible, and we're going to take a look at the key matchups, the upset victories that could happen, as well as my score predictions. I want to let you know that this segment is brought to you by the Fanco Wrestling Score Sheet. You can check out the score sheet online, downloadable right now for free for this match only, and write in your own dual meet score predictions for the Friday night event. Now, first, let's talk about the key matchups. And the first key matchup, and there are 2 of them here that I want to discuss, even with the 5 ranked matchups, 2 key ones. One is at 125 pounds with Sam Latona and Malik Heinzelman. This is number 12 Latona versus number 14 Heinzelman. And to be honest, starting right off the bat here, Ohio State needs a win. They really need to win early on if they want to keep up momentum throughout the duel. I think they'll hit a nice little streak kind of in the middle of the lineup, but they got to start out strong. Now, these 2 have never wrestled, and Latona is the better on paper. He's the All-American from last season, the favorite to win. He's that lanky guy. He's going to get in on that leg, and if you get in on his leg, he's going to scramble with you. It's not that easy to score on him, and he's really tough to take down when he gets into those scrambly positions. He has a loss, unfortunately, on the season this year to Joe Manchio of Columbia, so not the best way to start off his season, whereas Malik Heinzelman is undefeated on the year so far. He started out with a nice win against UNC's 5-0, and he's a little bit smaller of a guy, so I would like to see what those 2 look like matched up against each other, because he's a little bit smaller, he's quick on those re-attacks, and honestly, he's just like a wall to get through. Although he's a small guy, he's tough to beat when he gets in on those legs. So I can't wait to see when he gets on those legs and seeing Latona like scrambling through that and how those kind of positions look in the match. I'm giving Latona the edge right now, but it's going to be a key matchup for Ohio State. The second key matchup is at 174 pounds. So Mekhi Lewis, number 4 in the country, and Ethan Smith. Last year, if they wrestled, they would have wrestled at 165 pounds. Well, now they're both bumping up, and that's not the only thing that's similar between the 2 wrestlers, because both of them are All-Americans. Ethan Smith, All-American last year. Mekhi Lewis, although he didn't place last year, he was a 2019 NCAA champion. And then, of course, we know that he was injured at the end of the year, but he really started the season out strong, looking for bonus points. And that's what Ethan Smith also did starting out the year, looking for bonus points. I think that neither of them will probably score bonus on each other just because of the caliber of wrestlers that you are, unless somebody gets caught. But I honestly don't see that happening with either of them getting upset. And I think with these 2, both are like relaxed when they're out there, but Ethan Smith he just has that relaxed kind of style of wrestling that he's got to pick up the pace against a guy like Mekhi Lewis, who's not easy to score upon. He's a super flexible wrestler. I mean, I was just rewatching his finals match against Vincenzo Joseph and some of the other NCAA championships match, and it's not easy to score on him because he's so flexible. Like, multiple times, guys will have his leg like all the way up in the air, and he is not getting taken down. He finds a way to re-attack and score on you if you are too relaxed. So Ethan Smith's got to find a way to get through that. Both of them being at 174 should be an interesting matchup here now for these teams. And before we get into these upsets, like these 2 matches right off the bat, they're so key because whoever wins them has that 6-point swing. I think Virginia Tech has the edge in both of them, and not just, I guess because of rankings, but just because of how the matchups look. And so that's a 6-point swing for Virginia Tech. So let's talk about upsets. And there are 3 potential upsets that I see happening in this Virginia Tech and Ohio State matchup. The first is at 141 pounds. So Sam Hilligus and Jordan Decatur. Decatur is 0-1 on the season. So he doesn't have a win yet, but his match that he lost, I mean, it easily could have went the other way. It was just by a takedown to Keyshawn Clark of North Carolina, by a takedown in sudden victory, right? So it could easily have changed way. He bumped up, though, just looking at the Ohio State wrestle-off, Decatur bumped up from 33 to 41, beat Dylan D'Amelio. He beat Anthony Etchemendia to take that spot. Hillegas, I mean, he's number 31 in the country, but he is a beatable guy. And when we look at those, really a lot of these guys, like anywhere from 20 to 30 and even above that, like these are guys that can be beat. And although, like, that's what an upset is, right? It's when a lower-ranked guy beats a higher-ranked guy. I see comments all the time like, well, that's not an upset. We expected that to happen, like Andrew Alvarez last week. We expected that to happen. Well, you may have expected it to happen, but technically it was still an upset. And another upset that I think could happen is at 157 pounds with Connor Brady and Jayshawn Hubbard. Now, Hubbard is also 0-1 on the year, similar to Jordan Decatur, but you may have looked at the match with him and Austin O'Connor, as you see in the graphic here, and you saw that, okay, the result, he got pinned by Austin O'Connor. No surprise, national champion coming in, pinning the first guy of the season, an unranked guy. But if you watched the match, you saw that he fought O'Connor tooth and nail. I mean, before he got pinned, he got the first takedown, I believe, on O'Connor, and he was just fighting him all the way through. Then he got caught and pinned, and, you know, you got to watch those mistakes against a guy who's a national champion. And O'Connor's not necessarily like a point scorer, so sure, like, maybe. But Hubbard also, last year, had a win against Kim Amin earlier in the season at an open, and Kim Amin, just a couple months after that, after losing to Hubbard, got on the stand and placed at the NCAA championships. So I think that Hubbard is able to pull an upset against Connor Brady. I think it's totally possible. Even though Brady is a national qualifier, he's 3-1 on the year. I think this is just an upset to watch out for. Another upset that I want you to have on your radar is Nathan Traxler and Tate Orndorff. So 141, 157, and then heavyweight is a big match. Nathan Traxler is number 14 in the country. Tate Orndorff is number 7 in the country right now. Orndorff was an All-American last year. Traxler was a round of 12 finish. So realistically, like, they're basically like a round off of each other, right? I mean, round of 12 is top 12 in the country, and then an 8th in the country is Tate Orndorff. So they're right there with each other. And I think that's where a lot of the heavyweights kind of are, unless you're like, we have that top rungs of the ladder with Gable Stevenson at the top, and then Mason Paris and Cassiope and Kirkfleet. But these are guys, like a 14-7, I think that's easily an upset that could happen. You're not going to see a lot of scoring in this match. It's going to be close, and I'll get to like my score prediction in a second, but these two haven't ever wrestled, and I think that you're going to see a really tight match between them, and I give Nathan Traxler the edge over Orndorff, but we'll see what happens. In my score prediction, like I already wrote out my scores on my score sheet. Again, you can download yours for free this week only down in the link below. You can check that out, but Ohio State is the better team in the rankings, but Virginia Tech has potential to pull off a major win. Is it going to be a crazy upset that nobody expected? No, but I think it still can happen. Don't expect to see much bonus. In fact, on my scores, I have Corbin Myers, the only one scoring a major decision, a bonus point. I think it's possible, like, slightly, that Sammy Sasso catches a cradle on Bryce Andonian and gets some bonus points there. And honestly, like, Ohio State needs to find some way to score bonus points somewhere. Expect the usuals to get the job done. Expect Sasso to win and Hunter Bolen to win over Rocky Jordan. I think that that's what you can expect there, but Ohio State, I can expect upsets at 141 and 157. I shouldn't say expect, but that's just my bold prediction, I guess, for the match. But I still have Virginia Tech pulling out the victory, 16-15 overall, Virginia Tech. This match happens November 19th at 7 p.m. I'm interested in hearing your score predictions. Again, you can get your own college wrestling score sheet for this duel with lineup previews at the link down below. You can click right here. It'll take you there to download for free. Can't wait to hear what you say.